Now, Peter Thiel, and by the way, if you didn't know, his name is quite literally an anagram for the reptile. At least he's kind of smart about this, and he knows what's up, and he's preparing for it. Because in the midst of this, do you know what Kevin O'Leary is doing? He is currently planning to build the world's largest AI data center on American soil in the state of Utah that's pretty much going to destroy the entire landscape and the local population around it. And this guy, unlike Peter Thiel, is not even trying to hide it. In fact, this dude has been going on like a media tour, almost bragging about what he's going to do, trying to paint it as a good thing and attacking everyone who criticizes it, including middle school girls. I'm not even joking. I'll get to that later. And now you kind of see why I've been saying it over and over again these days, that they're not even trying to hide this stuff anymore. It's almost like they're rubbing it in our face, how distracted and how powerless we are. Long story short, in case you don't know why so many people are upset about these AI data centers, it's because they're pretty much the most dystopian thing you've ever heard of. These facilities require so much energy and resources that they essentially drain everything from the surrounding area, and therefore put the people living in that area in serious danger. For example, this new Kevin O'Leary sponsored data center in Utah is going to emit heat at a rate of 23 atomic bombs per day. Another fact is that it's going to use up more electricity than the entire rest of the state that it's in, Utah. And the physical area of the data center itself is larger than most cities geographically. This thing is basically just a giant national park-sized dystopian AI supercomputer that's literally built for the purpose of eventually taking your job. And all of this, obviously, is to allow AI to function on a massive scale. But is this super massive AI surge going to be for our benefit, for the good of ordinary citizens in America? Is it going to help us in any way aside from, maybe some faster responses on ChatGPT? Of course not. And in fact, it's actually going to be used against us. Because just think about it logically. They're literally going to be stealing your tax dollars and your energy and resources to fund the same AI system that's going to take your job and also put you under a mass surveillance system. Because as you also probably know by now, one of the other main functions of large-scale AI and why our government cares about it so much is because they want to build a giant digital surveillance network. So again, Kevin O'Leary and all these people in general who want to build these data centers across the country are going to be stealing your taxpayer dollars and your energy and resources to fund and prop up the same AI system that's eventually going to replace your job and put you under a mass surveillance network. There's simply no other way to put it than these people are spitting in our faces. Almost makes you question if the people of this country even have sovereignty anymore. Because it's not like there was a popular poll and we voted for this. And they know that the general public would never support this kind of truly terrifying project. But people like Kevin O'Leary know this, and they understand the system better than most of us do. So how does he and, the rest of big tech even get permission in the first place to build these supermassive AI data centers? Well, they have a trick, because they know that they can't convince everyone, and in fact, they don't have to. They just have to convince the people that matter to allow it. And so what they do is they lobby a very small group of local council members who oversee land management of the areas where they want to build these facilities. And then they find some way to give those people money under the table. So then what do you know? The local board of land management in the area suddenly agrees to allow these giant AI mega facilities to be built on the land. But do you want to know the absolute most despicable part in all of this? And it might shock you because, hey everyone, Hope you're enjoying the video. If you didn't know, I have a full bonus show over on Patreon that's actually a bit different from this channel. I drop videos on there every single week, specifically to talk about things that I can't really talk about on here. I'm sure you guys understand that there are so many more things I want to say, but there are some things that you just can't say on a mainstream platform like this. But on there, I'm completely unfiltered, completely uncensored, completely off script, and I'll be reacting to everything going on in the world and covering some much deeper and much more controversial topics. So I think it's something that you guys would really enjoy. You might even like it more than this main channel. It's $5 a month and you'll get access to the full weekly show. Link is in the description and pinned comment. And shout out to everyone who's already on Patreon and everyone who's a channel member as well. Love and appreciate you guys. But do you want to know the absolute most despicable part in all of this? And it might shock you because even some of you who know who Kevin O'Leary is might not know this fact. Kevin O'Leary, again, the guy who was just shamelessly exploiting the land and natural resources of America and using the money from the American taxpayer to do so, I shit you not, he is not even an American. I repeat, Kevin O'Leary is actually not an American. He's a foreigner. He does not have American citizenship. In fact, he's a triple citizen in 3 different continents and may or may not be a foreign agent. Who knows? And if you don't know what the backstory of this guy is, the next few minutes are going to be truly wild. As you guys can obviously tell, but just in case some people don't know, even though I'm Asian, I'm not like a heritage American. I was born here and I was raised here my whole life. I'm obviously an American citizen, and I'm guessing a lot of you, maybe a majority of you who's watching this, are in the same boat as me, regardless of what your background may be. If you're not, by the way, sending love to whatever country you're from. But anyways, if you're an American citizen and you've lived on this land with these people for your whole life, you naturally have a vested interest in this country thriving, but at the very least just surviving, which is something that Kevin O'Leary and a lot of these transnational oligarchs, by the way, don't have. Because this guy, for his whole life, seems like his primary loyalty has lied with transnational capital. Again, did you know that this guy is not only not an American, but he's actually a triple citizen of Canada, Ireland, and the UAE. And by the way, you probably already know what the UAE citizenship is for. You know, the sketchy financial stuff that goes on there, so you already know there's some shady business dealings here. But if you think about it, that means that this guy has his fingers dipped in 3 different continents all at once, right? Canada, it's in North America and shares a border with the most powerful country here, in fact, the most powerful in the world. Ireland, it shares a border with the UK, probably the most powerful and influential country in Europe. And the UAE, which is in a globally critical position in the world, the Middle East. I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, but isn't it at least interesting that this guy is directly and simultaneously involved in some of the most globally powerful and influential regions of the entire world? Do you or your family or your friends just so happen to have citizenship in 3 different countries on 3 different continents? But anyways, if you just look at this guy's history, even from a young age, he was in the club, so to speak. You know, the George Carlin quote about it's a big club and you're not in it. Because even directly on his Wikipedia page, it's not some kind of secret information. It directly says that as a child, this guy Kevin O'Leary somehow had personal relationships with some of the most powerful dictators in the world. What did I do when I was a kid? I went to public school. I ate Lunchables in the cafeteria and I looked forward to like pizza days and played kickball at recess. That was my childhood in America. I assume that you guys growing up in this country had a similar experience. But this guy, you know, who's trying to turn this country into a techno dystopia, He was having diplomatic meetings with Pol Pot before he even hit puberty. My point overall is to say that you need to realize this, that so many people entrenched in the power structures of America and across the globe, all these multinational institutions that you've heard of before, these people are not like us whatsoever. They don't understand us. They probably see us as some kind of underclass to be ruled over, or cattle, or goy. But they're the ones who are making all the decisions on our behalf. Why does Kevin O'Leary get to decide what happens to 40,000 acres of land in Utah when he's not even a fucking American? Anyways, if you thought that things couldn't get weirder than the stuff I've already told you, well, just be prepared. Because I'm not even joking. This guy, who is essentially trying to turn an entire landmass into AI dystopia, in his personal life, he has literally killed someone. He is literally a killer. He killed someone. In fact, no, he killed 2 people. It's not a conspiracy. Again, let's just refer to Wikipedia, just so you know that this is basic information that you can find if you're the least bit curious. The situation was ruled as a boat accident. By the way, Robert Maxwell also suspiciously died in a boat accident. Why do these boat accidents happen so often? And it was an accident in which he and his wife just so happened to coincidentally survive. But the other 2 victims involved in it, unfortunately, coincidentally, didn't. And by the way, just to be upfront, all I'm saying is that this is interesting. This is not to make any definitive speculation, just to be totally clear on that. But what we can say definitively is that he never had to serve a single day in jail for it. That's